What foundations do I need to start building now so that 15 years from now, whatever crisis were to come, whatever good opportunities were to come, I'm putting some seeds in now. And very often, the important seeds to plant now, my 47-year-old eyes cannot see, cannot judge, cannot tell what is important. It's only sitting down with someone who's 15, 20, 30 years further on down the path. And not everyone's perspective is useful. You know, if you know someone that is a negative, bitter victim down here, they are not someone that you want their perspective. Well, maybe you want their perspective so you know what not to do. But you want to find people that you look at their life and they're either further down the path than you, or they've got an area of life where they seem to have it together. And what I've learned is I never ask for their advice. Successful people, when they give you advice, it's never particularly helpful. They have a nice little recipe, but it's not really true. Very often when I meet someone who is 20 years older than me, the question that I will ask is, 20 years ago, what big things were going on in your life? Were there any decisions that you were struggling with? Were there any doubts that you had? Take me back. Where were you 20 years ago? What was going on? And over the last 15 years, some of the most profound lessons about how to live my life now, how to determine what's important, what's lesser important now, have come from listening to someone share the answer to that question. I find when I ask someone, hey, tell me what you think I should do, it's often not very helpful, that type of advice. What I want is not what they would do, I want their perspective, what they were looking at, what was important, what was lesser important. And when they then talk about 20 years ago, what were they paying attention to? What felt like it was important back then, but no longer is important from the perspective that they have? And I think one of the things that I hope in the world, and through Vistage and through EO and through my courses in ESA, is that whenever you face a major problem in life, before you look for a textbook, you think, who has already lived through this decision? Who is already 15, 20 years beyond having taken this decision? They seem to have done it well. And rather than looking at a textbook, go find that person and have a conversation and listen. And just listen to what life was like for them. And this idea that I think we really only learn two ways in life. One, through our own experience. Second, through the experience of other human beings, but only if we receive three parts to the communication. We need three parts. One, what happened? Two, why was it important to you? Three, what was it like for you? What did it feel like going through the journey? And it's a lie if anyone says, oh, it was a simple decision. The decision at 20 to take this job or that job, if you think it was easy, it's because you don't remember what it was like for you when you were 20. One of the things that was inculcated in me from a very young age was just noting down every day in a journal what I'm thinking about, what life is like, what struggles I had. And I can look back to when I was 20 and 25, and it was a hard time. I didn't look like I was having a hard time, because at that age, you need to project outwards that you have a lot of things under control. At many ages, you need to project outwards that you have many things under control. But if I'm honest with what it was like being 14 and 16 and 20 and 25 and 28, there were some tough decisions that I was taking by myself, that I was scared, and my uncertainty meant that instead of reaching out and asking others for their perspectives, and I think back then I would probably ask them for advice, and that's a very dangerous thing. You don't want anyone's advice. If you're a 20-year-old and your father is giving you advice, don't listen to it. It's not for you. It's something he needs to say, but it's not for you. What's valuable is turning the question around and saying, when you were 20, What decisions were hard for you? What were you struggling with? What was going on? Where were you?